Hey guys, Tony from the Fret Monkey. We're going to do a product review today. It's going to be over the MusicNomad F-ONE Oil. The reason I decided to try this oil is that, you do the reading out there of what you should condition your fretboard with, and people say mineral oil, people say lemon oil, and then there's bad and good about all of them. I have a Gibson J15, which has kind of an odd circumstance. It has a walnut fingerboard and a walnut bridge, which you don't find too often on guitars. And I couldn't find anything online about how to condition that. So I emailed Gibson 2 or 3 times. I never got a response from them. Started going through the internet, couldn't find anything there. So I went out to Amazon to see if I could find something that would work. And this F-ONE Oil from MusicNomad it's got 500-600 reviews, 4.5 stars. Read a bunch of the reviews. No one could say anything bad about it. It was just a great experience. So I thought, well, for $7.99, I'll go ahead and buy it and try it. So I decided to contact the company, and they were great. They responded to me within a couple hours. Said that they've never really experienced using it on a walnut fretboard, but it should be fine because it's made out of nuts from oil, or oil from nuts, and it shouldn't do anything to harm the fretboard. So I got it in the other day and decided to restring my J15 and then condition the fretboard and the bridge. Put it on there, let it sit for a couple minutes, rubbed it in. It was fantastic. Of course, my fretboard was really dry, so it drank it right in. But when you get done, there's no residue, no greasiness. It's not wet. It's not a mess like other stuff that you could possibly use. So after about 5 minutes, it was completely dry. It wasn't sticky, it wasn't slimy, it wasn't anything. So I would have to give it a thumbs up. It was awesome. I'll use it on all my other fretboards. I've used it on 2 rosewood fretboards on electric guitars. Came out great. So I would highly recommend MusicNomad F-ONE Oil. So what I'll do now is you can watch an excerpt from me doing my guitar restringing video, and it'll show you the beginning result and end result. So thanks everybody. Hope this helps you guys. It's just not for walnut fretboards. It's pretty much for any fretboard that's got open wood. It works great. Okay, we have all the strings off, all the bridge pins out, fretboard, got the headstock. Next thing we're going to do is basically, I've got 2 rags over here. First rag, clean microfiber towel. You're just going to go in, and where the strings go over the guitar, it gets kind of dirty. You can use polish on this too, but I polished it last time, so I'm not going to do it. So you just go in where the strings go over, where you can't get to when they're on. Just give it a nice little rub down, clean it up a little bit, and that's really all you got to do with that. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to condition the fretboard. So you're going to shake up this oil a little bit, and you just need a drop there. I'll do 5 of them so you can see, and then I'll finish it up and come back. But take your other rag. Now what you want to do is just kind of, you don't have to rub it in, but just, and this may take a little bit because it's kind of dry. I may need to put some more on here. But you want to just rub it in. Yeah, it's soaking it up pretty fast. And then just let it sit for a little bit. Make sure you get the edges up against the frets, and let it soak in for 2 to 3 minutes before you wipe it off. Normally by the time, if you do all 22 frets or 23 frets or whatever it is, you come back and start wiping it off. That's about the right amount of time. But this is pretty dry, so I'm going to put just a little bit more on these top 2. And wipe those in. Get your edges up against your frets. Okay. Because like I said in my other video, the whole reason for this is if your fretboard gets too dry, these little metal wires, they're called frets, they could start popping out. So you want to keep your fretboard. You do this maybe once or twice a year. Some people do it a lot more than that, but I think once or twice a year is fine. But if you look at it, just to give you a good idea, that's conditioned, that's not conditioned. So you can see how dry that was. And then I'll go ahead and do the rest of them, come back, and I'll have them all dried off, and you won't even be able to tell whether the wood's darker, but it'll be perfectly dry, not greasy, oily, anything like that. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back. As you can see, the fretboard has been fully conditioned. If you look, try to get the camera out of the way. It's not wet whatsoever. It's not oily. It's completely dry, but you can tell that the wood has soaked up that oil. I also did the bridge. You can tell it's a little bit darker, but you can see it's dry. I mean, it's not oily. So all in all, I purchased this myself. This isn't a paid advertisement, but I emailed so many different people because a walnut fretboard is so rare. Nobody could tell me what to use to condition it. And I finally just emailed the MusicNomad people for the F-ONE Oil, and they actually got back to me, and they actually checked with different guitar shops to see, you know, what they were using for it. And they said to go ahead and give it a shot, because they normally don't get a lot of walnut fretboards in, but they said it's just nut oil and there should be no problem. So as you can see, there wasn't. So I would highly recommend this F-ONE oil. And also, if you go out to Amazon, it's like one of the highest rated products they have. It's like 4.5 stars. I think there's like 500 reviewers of it. So everybody thinks it's quite phenomenal. So I'll put a link in the description, but here's another picture of it. It's F-ONE oil. This bottle will probably last you 10 years, and it was like $8. So it's nothing really expensive. So what we're going to do now is I will start restringing the guitar.